How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to all of you. We are now at 960 subscribers. We're this much closer to breaking that 1,000 subscriber threshold. I can't do that unless I get your help. So, if you like what you see and you enjoy the content and you enjoy the subject matter that I discuss from time to time here on the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe, smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and also hit the bell to receive notifications. Forgive me if I sound drawn out. It's because this was a long day, so I'm really putting my back into it today. I had no intention on doing a video, but this was important. Also, I do have an eBay store called the Carolina Collector 001. The link is in the description box below. I'll never ask you to join a Patreon or anything like that if you want to help to support the channel. Pick up some loose sports cards, graded slabs. There's a whole bunch of autos that are still up on my eBay stores page. I got a whole bunch of Paul Skeens rookies up there and various other items. So check it out. And that's the topic of our video today. Now, I've been pretty critical about the post office, and it's happening yet again. I got a message from a fellow eBayer who's high-ranking like myself, who have well over 1,000 items that they sold or feedbacks or what have you. And I checked the individual's feedbacks, and I don't see anything there that would indicate that they're trying to get free cards like two jackasses did recently to me, that they were trying to extort me for free cards, claiming that their cards never arrived. You have to understand, with the post office these days, they're in a lot of trouble. I mean, look what happened with the one customer I had up in Staten Island, New York. And thank God that they were able to finally get their order, which I sent out to them in kind. As you all know, when I process your cards and I'm ready to ship them out, I'll usually do a YouTube short where you can physically see your orders on camera, minus your personal information, because I don't want to dox anybody. That's not my thing. And I don't want to put anybody in danger. But at least I try to make some kind of effort to show you your cards on camera on YouTube shorts, so that this way my customers can verify, hey, yeah, the guy's right. Cards are out. Sometimes things happen. I get sick, or, the day is just so busy and I'm so overwhelmed and backed into a corner that I simply don't have the time to get them out in the time frame that I would like to get them out. But, I try to hold myself accountable to all of you by coming out on YouTube and saying, hey, look, this happened, that happened. Forgive me for that. I'll even go as far sometimes as messaging people on eBay and whatnot. So I'm very vigilant when it comes to this sort of thing. And not many people do it. And it's not easy, because it does take up a lot of my personal time. I do have a life also. I'm not a machine or a mindless automaton. I want to enjoy my life as well. So I don't want to be overwhelmed with all of this stuff. But at the same time, it's nice to make a little money in my pocket. As a matter of fact, I actually started going through my receipts for calendar year 2024 when it comes to this hobby, and the investment that I put into this hobby already, as far as my small business is concerned. It looks like once I get everything together that I'll probably be operating at a very small loss. So, already, I'm in it for, according to this, and these are order forms from Tops and Fanatics. So there's close to $8,000 worth of orders right here, as a matter of fact. So that's just ordering the cards, the boxes of cards that I sort through like all of us do, and what we sell as singles is what you guys get on eBay. And everything else is for my personal collection. But, the amount of sales I make versus product that I buy. And then you have to figure in for gas. You got to figure in for envelopes. You have to figure in for eBay fees. Even a portion of my rent and electric is also tax deductible and all that kind of stuff. So there's still a little work I got to do, because tax season, is coming to an end and it's right around the corner. So I got to start crunching these numbers. But it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. It's not as easy as you would think. You would think, oh, these are pictures of men, Here's an example of one card that just sold recently. As a matter of fact, I think it sold this morning. It's an Aaron Judge 2023 Topps Chrome Lids Mitchell & Ness card that was graded in SGC 10. So I've got the shipping label printed out and everything. But yeah, it's not an easy easy task to be a small business owner, because, you do get a lot of questions from your customers, and I try my best to answer them. And if I see that there's enough interest with certain cards, I'll throw a little bit of a discount in there or offer a discount, which I've been doing a lot more these days because the season is pretty much, I think, starting this week, if I'm not mistaken. And I know my customers appreciate that. I get the same customers coming back again and again and again buying my stuff. Plus, I have some newbies that have been coming on, either here from YouTube or across eBay or what have you. So I try my best to, not to lowball myself, but I try my best to entice potential customers or existing customers to pick up more of my stuff. The only drawback on my part, again, I have a personal life. So, with the girlfriend and, people in my social circles, and plus there's other stuff I have to do. Again, like I said, I had to go through all of this just to get my real ID. I got my New York State birth certificate in there and everything, man. That alone took 3 months to get here. And what I had to go through to get that, oh my God, it put me under so much pressure, because not only does my driver's license expire at the end of this month, my tag on my car and my registration are also expiring at the end of this month. So you can imagine, I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out, because like everything is happening all at once. So, as vigilant as I am, I've kind of had to push a lot of things off to the side and prioritize, exactly what it is that I need to do to go forward, and that's important. If I lose my driver's license, I lose the registration on my car. Number one, they implemented parking passes here on the property, which I am all for, because then who's who and whose cars belong here and whose cars don't. So I needed the tag for my license plate, which finally came. Surprisingly, that was the fastest thing out of that whole process. And then I wanted the real ID, because I'm trying to go for my passport next. So now that I finally accomplished that, once I get my physical license in hand, I'll have to go get my passport, and maybe I'm going to take a long earned vacation. I think I've earned it. We'll see what happens. But with all that being said, you have to be on top of everything. It was even something that the leasing office said to me, that there are certain people that are giving them attitudes, whether you like it or not. The ball is in your hands. When you sign your lease, for example, just like with this little business I run, once you put pen to paper, it's your responsibility to take care of things. And when people are complaining that their electric bill or their electric in general has issues, that doesn't fall on their shoulders. That's your responsibility to figure that out. And trying to pass that buck on to somebody else, well, if I try to do that with this eBay business, I wouldn't get anywhere. The goal is to try to be in the green, but unfortunately, because I am still an upstart technically, and I'm not even a year into this yet, you have to start from someplace, and sometimes you're going to operate at a loss, which I'm operating at a very small loss right now. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but when I looked at the 1099K and I looked at my expenses so far, there is a little bit of a drop off there. It's to be expected, and now that I'm kind of settled in, that hopefully this year will be a little different. I'll see what the future holds, but dealing with things like this with the post office, it's becoming quite annoying. I don't know what President Trump is going to do with the post office. I really do hope he privatizes them to make them a lot more efficient, because, I don't want my customers getting, I don't want to swear or cuss. I'm trying not to. Unless I put a disclaimer in the beginning of my videos, I'm really trying hard not to swear. But, I can get screwed. It costs me money if a customer does not get their card. And unfortunately, in the technological age that we live in, everybody expects everything right now, yesterday. And unfortunately, once it leaves my hands, there's really not a lot I can do. The only thing I can do is maybe call the post office if I see the card is in transit, which in this particular case, the card is in transit. But there's really nothing I can do. If it doesn't get to the customer, that falls on my shoulders. And again, I'm not saying that this particular customer, not like the other two jackasses that tried to extort me for free cards, because again, I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'll take the negative any day instead of giving away free money, because that's not going to happen, quote a very good friend of mine. But this person's feedbacks don't indicate like there's no indication that they're trying to get over, and they're a big eBayer like myself. So of course, from one eBayer to another, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt as it is at face value, and not try to falsely accuse this person of anything. But unfortunately, there's a difference between, and I don't want to dox anybody. Well, I really can't even show these because it's got a lot of QR codes and UPC symbols and stuff like that, so I can't even show this on camera. But, when you order the Ground Advantage shipping label, with an actual tracking number, you can follow that thing from step 1, step 2, step 3, all the way to the time where it gets delivered. Whereas the eBay standard shipping label has like an ES and then a number, and it doesn't get scanned throughout the entire process, while it's in transit. So it might get tagged one time. In some cases, it doesn't get tagged at all. In some cases, it doesn't get marked delivered, period. And that leaves me in a precarious position because now I have to start answering questions. And again, the only thing I can really do is with these orders here, it's probably about, I'd say roughly a dozen orders that I have to process. The only thing I can do is show them on camera once they're all packed up, once they're in their envelopes, minus doxing anybody and showing anybody's personal information to say, all right, here are your cards. They're either going out today or tomorrow. Or if I got sick, something came up or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I hold myself 100% accountable to all of you. I don't know many eBayers that do that. I know I do that. I think it's best because, unfortunately, in this goofy republic, especially when it comes to politics over the past several years, I think a lot of us are tired of getting screwed over by our government and other government entities. So there needs to be some sort of transparency somewhere. Sometimes we need a break. I need a break. I'm not just an eBay seller. I'm a consumer as well. I love this hobby. I love my Transformers. I love my sports cards, but there aren't many people that are willing to take the time to say, hey, you know what? I'm a business owner. Right? This happened, that happened, and blah, 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 because people are afraid of the backlash. At this point in my life, I've had so much bullshit done to me that I'm used to it by now, and it is what it is. And you either take what I say as the truth, or you can jump off a cliff for all I care. I'm not saying to literally do that. I'm just saying metaphorically speaking, so you kind of have to come into this with a thick skin. So with all that being said, I try my best to say, hey, here are your cards. They're prepped. They're ready to go. I'll get them out at this time or at that time. And I've been pretty good so far. I mean, I just broke 1,200 feedbacks or something like that, like some incredible number, which is awesome. So I appreciate that. And that goes towards building my reputation as an eBay seller, but there are going to be times that things like this happen with these guys that I just, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, what do I do? Because now if my customers start panicking, where's my order? Where's my order? Thank God so far, every order that I've sent out has made it. And to anyone that claims that their orders didn't get to them, let's see evidence of that. Let's see some proof, right? Because I use 3 different apps, including the tracking system that's built into into eBay, which takes you directly to the post office's tracking stuff. So like I use 17 Track, I use Parcel app, I use the USPS app. And if you click directly on some of the links, it'll take you to a, how can I put that? I guess a sub page of the Postal Service through eBay, especially when it comes to the eBay shipping. So, there are ways to find these cards. But, I always get skeptical when something like this happens because, again, you don't know who you're dealing with. There's a lot of fraud and a lot of thievery that goes on in this hobby where people are trying to get free stuff, and they figured out all these ways. Again, I'll take the negative any day. If I have to take 15 negatives and I end up getting 30 positives, I'll take the 30 positives and 15 negatives every day of people trying to claim that they didn't get their cards. That doesn't concern me. Because, again, people today will scam. Anything that could be scammed, stolen, ripped off, manipulated, all that kind of stuff. People are going to do it. You can't trust people. I'm sorry to say it. I hate to sound like a cynic, but my experience throughout my life, throughout many years of nonsense and bullshit, I've had to learn not to trust anybody. So especially when it comes to money. And anything that could be scammed will be scammed or ripped off or taken for granted or used or abused or what have you. So, but the post office themselves, we've seen it, over a few years now where, postal workers are throwing out mail or they're opening up envelopes, stealing checks, or you see a lot of these news articles here on YouTube in particular where mail is piled up and backed up so much that, packages that would only take days to arrive are now arriving weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, late. And again, I don't know if Trump is going to privatize the post office. I wish he would, because they clearly have failed, and they're getting worse and worse and worse. And it bothers me, as somebody that went through a hard time in his life as a 9/11 recovery worker, being homeless, dealing with the family drama, having people come after me, attacking me, accusing me of being a fraud and blah, 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 all that stuff. You learn to just keep going. You learn to stand up and fight, and you learn to detect and avoid all of these scams and schemes and rotten people, in this goofy republic of ours. And you just keep standing up, stand strong, brush off the dust, and you keep going. You have to have that mindset, because if you allow things to get to you, or you allow people to try to get over on you and walk and step all over you, they will do it. And eBay is no exception. So you have to be careful at exactly who it is you're dealing with. I highly suggest you read through everybody's feedbacks and see if there are any negatives in the positive column, and keep in touch with them. But you don't have to be a jerk either. I try to be as cordial as I can. Like even this morning, the customer was like, I don't know what to do. So what's going to happen? So I literally took a selfie of myself in front of the door at the DMV so the person could see that, yeah, this is a thing. I can't really deal with this right now. And then when I came home, I needed to sleep. Standing in line for hours and then waiting for another few hours in the DMV. Believe me, it's not a pleasant experience. I was not happy. But at least it's over with and it's done, and I got what I needed, and I don't have to deal with that again for another 8 years. Well, at least I don't think I have to do that again. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, I apologize to my eBay customers. Unless something happens directly with me, you'll see that either in a full form video or a YouTube short. Now, of course, I've got all these cards that I still have to process. There's a Gunnar Henderson SGC 10. There's a Paul Skeens base rookie that was an SGC 10 that I sold. So there's a whole bunch of cards here that I need to process. That's going to take some time. And then you'll see that in a YouTube short. If it's like one card, sometimes two cards, I'm not always going to do the YouTube short, because quite frankly, I don't think it really is relevant. Though for my own sake, I really should, to be honest with you. But this weekend, I really had no time because the girlfriend was here and we were really in the thick of things and what have you. So I really didn't have time to sit down to do a full form video. I mean, I do YouTube shorts with me cooking for us, things like that. Or if I actually have some free time for myself where I can just detach and kind of get away from everything, you'll see shorts with that. But definitely with this order that's sitting in front of me now, unless I get more after I upload this video, I will do a YouTube short to let my customers know, hey, guess what? Your orders are processed. They're going out at this time, at this day. Of course, I'm very easy to reach. You can find me here on YouTube. You can also reach out to me on my eBay Stores Messenger, the Carolina Collector 001. Again, the link is in the description box below. So with all that being said, if any of you ever have any issues with your orders, message me. But just keep in mind, to all of those that are trying to extort me for free cards, I'll take the negative any day, unless you can prove that card has reached your doorstep, or hasn't reached your doorstep. Or if you're trying to card swap, which is why I use these tamper-proof stickers and I seal them in plastic, unless you can actually show me the physical card or show the damage, I'll show you photos of the card after or just before it left my hands to get to you. So I've covered all my bases. But if you still feel like you want to try to extort me for free cards, you have another thing coming. It's not going to happen. So again, it's in the post office's hands. I don't know what is going on with these guys. They were a very time-honored entity. But recently, I don't know what's going on with them. I have no idea with packages being backed up, envelopes and mail being thrown out, checks are being stolen, mailmen are postal carriers are being robbed. I mean, I don't know what the hell is happening with these people. I mean, it's completely upside down and backwards. The only thing I can do is try to be as vigilant as I can and try to be as transparent and open. That's why that's why I do videos like this, so that this way, at least you all get some answers. You see my face, you know who I am, and I'm very, very open to questions and all that sort of thing. And of course, you can message me on eBay, but just be a little patient, especially when it comes to, I don't know if I have any good, again, it's very difficult for me to show certain things on camera because I don't want to dox my eBay customers. But, let me see, maybe I could show this particular order. I mean, I really don't care about my address because anyway, as an LLC, my business is public anyway, so it doesn't really matter about my personal info. But, that's the eBay standard envelope or the eBay standard shipping label, excuse me. But when it comes to that thing, it's probably the worst thing to use. But if I don't use it, if I start using stamps and all of that stuff, I have no way of proving that I've sent people's cards out. That's the drawback. And I'm not going to fuck over, and forgive me for cussing, I have to say it, I'm not fucking over my customers just to save a few dollars. When it comes to the standard shipping, you get charged $1.25. All of my orders go out in envelopes like this. I seal all of my cards with these Oop, don't you dare. I knew that was going to happen on camera. Again, expect the unexpected on this channel. But, I'll use Ultra Pro sleeves to wrap the cards up in. I'll staple the cards into these cardboard holders. Then I'll put one of these tamper-proof labels onto said plastic envelope. And then I go to the next step, and I actually use fragile stickers on my orders. So, I mean, I go above and beyond for my customers, man. And I put great care into this because if you don't take pride in your work, well, you're not going to go very far. And I think my customers appreciate that I actually do that stuff. Forgive me for the shaky cam. All right, I've been here talking for over 20 minutes. I think all of you get the point. I do have major gripes with the post office. It affects not just myself, but it affects all of you. And it also affects my fellow eBay sellers out there. When the post office drops the ball, it sucks for us because it could come out of our pockets. And eBay does not care about the sellers. They are very pro-buyer, and it's bullshit because, if I don't have money to back up some of this stuff, I can end up getting in a lot of trouble when it comes to covering the cost of a card that may have actually legitimately been lost. So, I would have to refund my customer. But, my feedbacks speak for themselves. I'm over 1,200 feedbacks at this point. And except for 2 jackasses that tried to extort me, I think I'm doing quite well. It's very easy to detect who these people are because, like even recently I had some jackass go on eBay trying to convince me to use their OnlyFans account to pay for a card. And I'm like, I smell something awful already. And sure enough, they were trying to post, gay stuff on my messenger, and I immediately reported them and blocked them. I haven't seen a response from eBay yet. Usually it takes about 24 to 48 hours to get an answer from them. But yeah, I'm on top of all this kind of stuff. It gets a little, it's frustrating. I'll leave it at that. I really enjoy sitting here, as a hobbyist first, as a collector first, and as a seller next. I really, really enjoy this. It's nice to work at home where I'm safe, where I'm comfortable. I don't have to deal with the outside world unless I have to bring this stuff to the post office. I'm in control of everything that's here. I'm in control of my own destiny, and I love it. Not many people can say that, but I can. I fought long and hard to get to this point. And, I've been fucked over quite a bit throughout the years. It's nice to finally have something that's a little more, on the positive and be on the up and up. But things do happen still. This is not the fantasy land that the left lives in. This is this graphite table that I'm knocking on right now. Again, sorry for the shaky cam. This is the really real world. It's not some make-believe world where you dress up as Star Wars characters or wear tuxedos, pretending that you have, some sort of mental, incredulity or whatever have you. By wearing a tuxedo and having pins all over you, that makes you somewhat special when you're really not. You know who's special? People that take the time to stand out in the cold, giving out coats and food to the homeless. That's who's special. By using pronouns, that doesn't make you special or unique either, because you're still the same ugly, fat, overweight, unattractive person. Unless you're cool and you're down and you're awesome. Hey, man, be an astrologist all you want with the bull ring in your nose. So long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not infringing your shit on anybody, that's fine. But, again, I don't want to drag politics into this, because I know even I have enough of it too. Oh my God, you need to unplug from the matrix a little bit. So forgive me for that little tirade there. It's so frustrating with some of the stuff that I see in the collecting hobby, whether it's sports cards, Pokemon, TCG. It's just like, oh my God, man, like, enough. You see that in the Transformers too. Oh, I got a lot. I almost made a video about this, kind of as like a side note, but I'm like, you know what? If I make the video that I want to make, it's definitely going to stir the pot. And right now, I want to keep things on, on the up and up. So I think I've already put too much politics into my content as it is already. But, you see a lot of people that gaslight, and I can't stand that crap. But what I do care about is your money. If that's one thing I will say, almost 30 minutes into this video already, I care about your money. I know what it is not to have any. I know what it is to be homeless. I know what it is to be stabbed in the back by your supposed friends and allies. I know what it's like to have things taken away from you. I know what it's like to be thrown under the bus and discarded like a piece of trash. And having survived all of that, it's only made me, stronger, more grounded, more aware of the world around me. And I still go through stuff these days. And yet I'm still here, unscathed, untouched, and unscarred. It's only made me stronger. So, I care very much for your money. I know a lot of you work hard, even if it's a card that you buy off me. Even if a card that you buy off me is $1, that's $1 you worked for. And I'm going to fight to make sure that you spent that $1 wisely and that you get what you paid for with that $1. That's why I take the time to buy these envelopes. Like when I do my graded slabs, or if I do combined shipping with certain cards, I use bubblers and boxes, and all that kind of stuff. I do everything I can to make you guys and gals happy. So forgive me if it sounds like I'm shilling for myself, but I just want you to all of you who've never dealt with my eBay store, what it is you get with me. So that's pretty much it. It's almost 30 minutes, guys. I'm cottonmouth. And I got these orders I got to process. So look forward to an eBay short with these particular orders. Thank you, everybody. And please, again, forgive me. There's not much I can really do. Once it leaves the hands of the post office, once it leaves my hands and gets into the hands of the post office, there's not much I can really do. So I'll do my best to make phone calls and send emails when and where I can. But after that, you're just going to have to be patient, because sometimes a card will show up in 3 days and sometimes a card will show up in 3 weeks. It's just a toss-up, and there's not much I can really do. They are the gatekeepers. They are holding all the keys. They are guarding all the doors. It's just like the Matrix. So it just sucks to have to constantly deal with this issue. But anyway, everybody, take care. God bless. Stay safe. Don't forget, check out my eBay store, the Carolina Collector 001. The link is in the description box below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications. I got to get to work over here. Thank you again. I will see you all very soon.